My name is Scott Pribble, and I'm the Director of External Communications for Denver Public Schools. Welcome to the first episode of the DPS Monthly Wrap Up Show, a show dedicated to showcasing the stories of our district. Our first story today is from West High School. West and several other schools recently had a huge upgrade to their air conditioning system. Watch as we celebrate this amazing accomplishment.
Today is about celebration. We're celebrating nearing the end of a busy summer. Today you have the opportunity to sign up for an AC tour to learn more about what goes into this type of project. You have the chance to receive a plethora of resources for all our incredible vendors and partners because we serve the community. You'll have a moment presented to you where you could, if you choose to, run in front of a fire hose. And trust me, it's hot enough. In here it says that I'm gonna join you, but I spent hours fixing this hair this morning. There's no way that I'm gonna get soaked with a fire hose.
It is no mistake that you are all here on the steps of the West Campus to celebrate the ways that investing in public education can change the experience of students and their senses of belonging.
It might be difficult to understand the significance of cool air inside. I want you all to imagine how difficult it was to teach and learn in an environment that can be described as miserably hot.
We ran the pipes that run the cold water.
Now, they can focus on their learning and not the temperature. Without the bond project, this would not be possible. In my opinion, this project is equity in action.
It truly takes a village to be able to support our students. And as I look across this crowd that has come out today, I know that you're all truly invested.
I want to thank each one of you for your hard work, dedication to getting our schools providing the necessary, in this case, air conditioning and cooling upgrades that the Denver community has asked for.
I want to thank the Denver voters for bringing all of the upgrades here to the West Campus. This building has provided us with a foundation for success and pride, and now we are able to enter the next 100 years feeling supported and engaged.
AC is just one way that we are improving our students' learning environment. Our next video shows another way. Let's go out to DCIS Baker and check out the capital improvements that they have made to their library.
DCIS, we are focused on students becoming interculturally competent citizens and becoming empowered to take action in their community to better the world. This library is a place where our community gathers, our students and our staff. This is our Hope Squad student support room. It's a space where our students can support each other with social emotional needs. It's a space where they can be themselves authentically, whether it's reading books or playing board games or in other ways just being together.
So quality learning environments is really focused on making visible and functional investments in key learning spaces throughout our school buildings. So it could be classrooms, gyms, cafeterias, outdoor spaces, and then also libraries. And we've seen a lot of libraries really get prioritized with these funds.
For this project, what we did was basically transform the finishes on this in this space. So that basically meant new paint, floor replacement. It had carpet before, but we put new carpet. We installed a new front entry.
When I started here, the library was kind of just a blah space, but now it's real eye-catchy. It's a more beautiful space that I think students want to utilize. I have more and more students in here now than I did before.
We want students to feel like this is a space they want to come into, that they want to spend time in, that they feel like they can learn in this environment.
It's just wonderful to see a space that students really love and enjoy and are able to use it and feel welcome and comfortable, and they feel like they have a voice in what we do with our bond dollars.
It's just more, they remodeled most of it. It's like more modern, it's more comfortable.
So just want to say thank you to our voters and anyone that did vote yes for it, because it does help and it does go to make a difference in our community and in our lives.
Here at Denver Public Schools, we have a saying, we are getting better at getting better. And that library is just a prime example. For our next story, we head out to East High School, where they hosted a unique experience not only with the superintendent, Dr. Alex Marrero, but also Colorado Governor Jared Polis.
Greetings, everyone. Dr. Alex Marrero, your proud superintendent, and we are here at East. I know you see an incredible bus behind us. We're going to get to that in a moment. And we have some students, some leaders of this building standing to the left of me. I'm going to introduce Kate, who's the president of the Sustainability Club here at East High School. Kate, how are you?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm happy to be here. Excited to unveil this incredible machine.
As am I.
That is our third electric vehicle. And we hope by this time next year, we'll have 13, and by this time, 2 years from now, we'll have 23.
East High School Sustainability Club is also heavily involved with DPS Students for Climate Action, an organization that helped develop the climate policy that the school board passed involving these electric buses.
And it's been a great time being able to push the things that will impact our future, and being able to see the things that impact our future as we're pushing them is really amazing.
We've come together to celebrate the announcement of over $24 million heading to 13 Colorado school districts for new electric school buses to safely transport students to school and improve air quality.
In order to get to this day, it took commitment. Commitment from our student body, commitment from our Board of Education, commitment from our superintendent. That commitment turned into a resolution, and that resolution was to significantly reduce the carbon footprint of the district.
You're going to look back someday and say, I remember when they put the very first electric school buses into service. Not every day as a legislator you get to see something that you were part of become a reality and actually hit the streets.
We made it a priority to help school districts convert to electric buses for a few reasons. One is cleaner air, and that of course means cleaner air for all of us, but also specifically for kids who board the buses, for drivers, for kids who are asthmatic. It's great to get rid of those diesel fumes. The second reason is it frees up more resources for the classroom, to pay teachers better, to reduce class size. By eliminating the fuel costs for school districts, DPS spends millions of dollars a year on fuel, and every electric bus helps zero that out.
I don't know how many students can fit on that bus, but 40, 30 students, that is 40, 30 students that would have been transported by a diesel bus before.
And I think it's so important that we have this bus because it shows a future where we care about sustainability and where it's something that we prioritize.
The way that we'll transport students will not be more effective, it'll be cleaner, it'll be quieter, and also make sure that we can attribute resources, much needed resources, into the classrooms. So it's truly a win-win-win-win scenario for DPS, and quite frankly, every district should follow us in terms of what we're leading, in terms of electrifying, but also sustaining how we engage to transport our students, but also everything around sustainability and climate action. Signing off, this is your proud superintendent, Dr. Alex Marrero.
DPS goes green!
DPS thrive!
20 new electric buses, that's going to seriously reduce carbon emissions. Next, we have a wonderful story from Valverde Elementary. This school was founded 100 years ago. Watch the huge celebration we had.
We're getting ready for a party!
Happy birthday to Valverde.
Today was a massive and momentous celebration for our 100th year. Valverde was built in 1923, and now, as you know, it's 2023. And this has been a staple and hub of this community for the last 100 years, and we needed to honor that.
So today was really incredible. I just got done crying.
Everybody! Happy birthday to you.
We sang happy birthday to our school with our whole community, which is when I started crying. And now we are having a party. This area used to be celery fields, and so it was green. And the original school was up on a hill south of here. In 1890, the actual school started on Navajo Street, and it looked down into a valley that was green. And so Valverde, Green Valley, here we are.
We're standing in front of the old main entrance of Valverde Elementary, which is no longer because Alameda is such a large street now.
I lived here and I came to this school in the 80s, and we used to be able to enter into the main entrance of the building. As a little Mexican girl, I couldn't have imagined that I would one day stand here before you as president of the board. And I hope that there's a president coming out of Valverde in the next few years.
I came to Valverde when I was in second grade. Valverde means the world to me. I came to Valverde as an 8-year-old, second semester of second grade, monolingual immigrant. I didn't know a single word of English, only two, yes and jelly, and that's it. So everything I learned was because of Valverde. The next chief of schools could be sitting right here today.
We just heard from Cesar, little second grader, who's now running all schools. We heard from Madam President Xochitl Gaitan, third grader, now running everything that is policy in our system, and how far we have gone when we weren't allowed in the room back when we went to school. And I would argue 100 years ago it was even worse. But one thing that stayed 100 years ago was our commitment to the community.
We have the most incredible families and students and our staff. It's just such a passionate place to be.
You know, something that everybody says when they walk in the doors of Valverde is that it feels like home, and it feels good, and it feels comfortable, and it feels happy and loving and safe. And that is something that we strive for our kids.
That was truly a huge celebration. Congratulations, Valverde. Continuing on with our celebrations, September hosts the beginning half of Hispanic Heritage Month. Our next video shows how we are improving school safety, but also our dedication to working with minority-owned businesses.
As we start to look at this Rise Room, we're going to break down how it actually works. Since 2006, basically 18 years, I partnered with Denver Public Schools and probably done about 90% of all DPS schools. My name is John Martinez, owner of Martinez Fire Protection. My role here as an owner is to support my team as we complete this whole project here at Montbello. Every Denver Public Schools obviously has staff, personnel, and children. And we're here to protect property and to save lives. We became an MWBE partner with Denver Public Schools, and DPS has allowed us to bid on projects and make it a very competitive bid.
An MWBE is a minority or women-owned business. So what we're looking at is operation, ownership, and control. And those are going to be certified through agencies that are approved by Denver Public Schools.
When we come on over to this system, and this is your pool system. Being Hispanic, being raised through Hispanic, knowing that I am a small business owner, the fact that I'm able to educate, train, teach, and to see my futures coming up.
Johnny Martinez was one of the first vendors that I met when I started my role. He's been working with the district since I want to say 2006, and he's a true example of a company that has created opportunity for folks through the opportunity that has been created for them.
Giving back to the community is huge. Whether we do it through the Boys and Girls Club at the Denver Broncos, we give back to every Denver Public Schools. We try to give back at least $1 million a year to help out the teachers and the children. We don't chase money, we chase doing the right things.
Hispanic Heritage Month is a time for us to come together and honor each other and really lift each other up and make sure that we're saying like, hey, you do a good job, I see you. We're all continuing to grow together.
We're a family, and that's the difference. When you're a family, you do anything to help your family members succeed.
When we think of safety, we often forget about fire safety. Thank you to Martinez Fires for keeping our schools safe. Did you know that DPS has its own mariachi band? The students at Bryant Webster Dual Language School are doing amazing things, and among them, learning, practicing, and performing live mariachi music. Let's listen in.
Next. We're in G. Trumpets are different. Okay, here we go. 1, 2. 1, 2, ready, and... My father was a musician broker, so he brought the first mariachi groups from Mexico, like to play at Casa Bonita. And then from there, they played at different venues and things like that. We did not go over Guadalajara today, so I want to go ahead and go over that to start with. Okay? Not too bad. Why mariachi? Because I thought that there was a need to have it. I felt like I knew mariachi music. I loved mariachi music. It was something that I really loved, that I thought that the kids should also get that opportunity to explore that part of their culture.
My ancestors, they were like musicians in Mexico. My cousins, they played in mariachi, my sister, and like it inspired me.
I think mariachi music relates to Hispanic heritage because it's part of their culture. It's part of who they are. It's part of what is inside of them. You don't have to be of Hispanic culture to appreciate and love mariachi music.
I've been playing the violin for 5 years. I was hesitant at first to join mariachi because my dad plays music and I've seen how much it's fun, but there's also una piedra del camino. Even the sad songs are like, you get into it, especially if the crowd is like really excited, doing gritos.
People do gritos when they are excited about a song and they want to share that. So they do something like this.
With our mariachi program, we start with the students that are in 3rd grade. And then from there, if they want to continue with the program, then they do so. It's not easy to go ahead and learn to play an instrument, and have to sing as well. And this is an after-school program, and it's not a cheap program. When you're looking at the mariachi outfits, instruments, instructors, and that, everything starts to cost money. If there's a way that you could help the program, that's awesome.
We truly have amazing students here at DPS. Our next and final story comes to us from Dual Elementary. At Dual, they host something that's called Totes of Hope. Let's watch and see how Dual teamed up with the Denver Broncos to help support our students.
Today we have kind of a special event. We've got the Broncos Foundation and Centura Health here, as well as the Food Bank of the Rockies. And we have volunteers, cheerleaders, Miles. Dow Elementary is an awesome little neighborhood school. We have about 350 kids. We have a high percentage of students with free and reduced lunch, about 95%.
Today is a great example of community coming together to meet kids' needs so their families don't have to choose between putting food on the table and paying the rent.
Food has gotten very expensive. A lot of families in our community really struggle with food insecurity, and so the Food Bank of the Rockies really helps us fill in this gap a little bit. We send home a bag of food with 48 of our kids every Friday.
And what our volunteers are doing behind me is they're assembling what we call Totes of Hope. These are bags of food, both non-perishable food and fresh produce, that kids take home for the weekend.
There's carrots and peaches and potatoes, so there'll be some big, heavy bags of food for our kids to carry home.
Our students get so incredibly excited to get their bags of food every single week. We normally pass out our food every Friday, and our little kids will come up during the week and say, "Is it Totes of Hope Day?"
The look of excitement on the kids' faces when they get to meet the Denver Broncos cheerleaders and Miles the mascot and former players like Steve Atwater, it really reminds you why you do incredible work like this.
Food insecurity really affects probably 1/3 of all residents in Colorado, and we know that probably 44% of households that have children have food insecurities.
Some of the families that the totes go home to have really come to depend on the Totes of Hope.
Because with food inflation, with costing so much more money per month to feed their families, people are having to make a choice.
So every little bit that we can help, that the community can help, just makes it a little bit easier for our families and our students to be here, to be present, ready to learn.
These totes are truly changing lives. It's very cool to see the Denver Bronco mascot on TV, but to see Miles in person was a great experience for our students. Thank you to the Denver Broncos and Food Bank of the Rockies. And thanks to all of you for joining us for our first edition of the DPS Wrap Up. For more content like this, please subscribe to our YouTube channel at Denver Public Schools Plus. Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep sharing the magic of education. Thank you, Denver.